morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Thursday morning, as always, a coffee kind of morning. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. This video is in response to a video that was started by my good friend and neighbor just down the road, about 20 minutes from here, Mr. Larry Graves, none other than the Canadian Studmuffin. I love Larry. We've met a few times. I love his girlfriend, Molly. Such a great person. We've traded some CDs back and forth. And remarkable. So he put out a great video the other day. First 5 albums I loved. And the last 5 albums the last 5 I've become a fan of. I also watched Vinyl Ritchie. I love his channel as well. Ritchie's a cool guy. Do his version of Larry's video and did a fantastic job as well. So it's a great topic. Also gives you a chance to see what my musical styles are. As you already know, I'm pretty much classic rock guy, but both Larry and Ritchie are a lot older than me. So my experiences were not originally the Beatles. I was way young when the Beatles came around. I didn't discover the Beatles till later on in life. I discovered music right around my grade 7 and 8 years, or middle school for you American friends of mine. And I was more into classic rock and hard rock. And right in that heyday of the early 70s, when I was in grade 7, at Bayside Public School, which is on the way to Larry's place, not quite near Larry's place. But keep in mind, though, my discovery was over 50 years ago, so my memory not be exactly accurate. I can't remember what I did yesterday, but one thing I did remember, I think it's Mr. Ferguson. I tried to look up archives for the Bayside Public School to find out if I could find this teacher's name. I'm pretty sure it's Mr. Ferguson. Probably long gone by now, but he was a cool arts teacher, and he let us every Friday bring in record albums to listen to on Friday afternoons. And that's when I was introduced to fantastic music. So other guys would bring in their music. That's when I discovered all these great bands. It just blew me away. So that's where my discovery came from. Not something I saw on TV, not something, just, again, hearing it for the first time. And, of course, fell in love with it. So, as you all know, my favorite album, Machine Head by Deep Purple. When I first heard this, I was hooked. 1972's Machine Head. Every song on here I know off by heart. This is, of course, not the original. I went that stupid route way back in the 80s and got rid of all my albums, but I had to have this one. I've got 3 copies of it now. But it's, again, every track on here. I tried to play Smoke on the Water on guitar, like every other kid did. Lazy, Space Truckin', Highway Star, everything on here is fantastic. So from there, I went to In Rock, and this was a much heavier album than Machine Head, but it still blew me away. I didn't want to pull out all my studio albums because I've got 27 of their studio albums. I've got pretty much every studio album other than Bananas, which I'm not in any hurry to get that. So from In Rock, I went to Fireball and Burn, that whole path. But fantastic stuff. The next band I discovered, or the next album I discovered, was We're an American Band by Grand Funk Railroad. This one was cool. What's in behind this gold album cover? 1973 release. Fantastic. Two amazing lead singers, completely different lead singers. Don Brewer, a deeper voice. Mark Farner, higher voice. Kind of raw, not the greatest professional players, but Mark Farner was a unique player for sure. Don Brewer on drums, Mel Shacker on bass. This was a fantastic album. You not only had the lead song, we're an American band, but you've got the railroad, it's kind of funky, kind of bluesy, kind of everything else. And from then, I went to Shining On. Now, my original one had the 3D glasses. This, of course, doesn't. But I stared at this album cover for years when I first got it. And so good. Listen to Mark's vocals on To Get Back In. You got Love, Destitute, and Losing. Wow, so good. His vocals were fantastic. It really was. I've got 11 Grand Funk albums. I think I'm going to be doing a video on Grand Funk tomorrow. This is Grand Funk. So, yeah, this is awesome. So from there, I discovered this fantastic album. Still one of my favorite Led Zeppelin albums. I was in another world when I listened to this one. What is this? It's got every song on there is different. The Battle of Evermore on mandolin. I go, well, come on. It's just remarkable. One of the guys I hung out with when I was in grade 7 and 8 had an older brother who could play Led Zeppelin on guitar, and he was fantastic. I was blown away. He was just that good. Yeah, fantastic stuff. I love this album. Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Battle of Evermore. Of course, Stairway to Heaven, which I'll never hear again. I tried to learn Stairway to Heaven on guitar. I think I got to this first solo, but after that, I could never play the solo properly. I wasn't that good, but still had fun. I wore out my original album trying to learn guitar on that one for sure. And of course, from there, I went Zepp 1, 2, and 3, and the rest is history. I've got all their studio albums now by Led Zeppelin just recently. Back in the day when, young parents, my parents were invited to the minister's place for dinner. That's when, everyone got together, had dinner together with him and his wife. They had a teenage son who took me downstairs and introduced me to possibly top 5 favorite albums, Dark Side of the Moon. He put headphones on me and said, listen to this. And I was blown away. I still am blown away by this one. When I got it, that's when I moved my stereo into the living room. My parents didn't like that very much. But I had long cable for headphones and would just sit and listen to this every night. Still discovering songs on it when I listen to it. It's fantastic. Again, just like Machine Head, I know pretty much every song on this album, but still, it's a discovery every time you put this album on for sure. And from there, of course, I went to Wish You Were Here. Another fantastic album. Shine On, Crazy Diamonds is to die for. One of my favorite tracks. I've got 19 Pink Floyd studio albums, so I've got a good chunk of their albums. When I saw this cover, even though it's comical, I was still curious on what this sounded like. One of the kids brought it to school one day, and I was blown away when I heard Paranoid. Of course, you're 12 years old, 11, 12 years, 13 years old at the time. Ozzy's vocals, Tony's riffs, everything about this album was fantastic. Still one of my favorites. War Pigs. I understand War Pigs now. I didn't understand it back then. I understand War Pigs now. War Pigs is a really relevant song for today, for sure. Paranoid, Planet Caravan, Iron Man, you know, that growly voice of Ozzy. Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, Rat Salad, Fairies Wear Boots. Fairies Wear Boots was a controversial song, even when I listened to it the first time. Can he say that on a record? But it's still cool. And from there, where did it go? Here it is. I don't have this on vinyl yet. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. This is more progressive than Paranoid, but the tracks on here are so good. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, A National Acrobat, Fluff, kind of didn't have to be on there. Kind of a break between songs though. Sabracadabra, Killing Yourself to Live, Who Are You, Looking for Today, Spiritual Architect. Such a great album. So that's my 5 albums that I loved when I first discovered music. The last 5 albums I became a fan of is hard. It's hard. In the last 5 years, since having this channel, I've discovered so many new and older bands. Hundreds of bands that I've never even heard of before. So this list could be huge. But I have chosen 5 albums from newly discovered bands that I absolutely love. One of them being Marillion. I love both the Fish era and the Steve Hogarth era. 2 completely different bands, really. But their debut, 1983, Script for a Jester's Tear. It's impressive. It's really impressive. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. He Knows You Know, Garden Party, everything about this. It's only 6 tracks. Forgotten Sons, the title track. It's fantastic. So I was on a mission to get as many Marillion albums as possible. I've got 14 of them now. They've got 20 in total, so I've got a long way to go. But fantastic band. Fish was a unique artist, unique vocals. Steve Hogarth has a richer voice, but still a great band. I only have a couple of albums from these guys, but I was really blown away by the and Ensoulment. I truly was blown away by this. This one's on clear vinyl, not that matters, but an amazing English rock band from London, formed by Matt Johnson in 1979. This is their first album in 25 years. You got Leonard Cohen vocals, alternative rock, folk, pop, jazz, touches of electronic rock on this one as well. The writing is exceptionally good. It's smooth and silky. The bass sounds are phenomenal on this. It's a journey. You got jangly riffing guitars, break keyboards, gravelly vocals. It's kind of an album you have to listen to from start to finish. You just can't put one on one track. It's really amazing. There's themes of sexuality, democracy, mortality, modern themes as well. You got elements of pop and theatrical rock and folk. It's just a fantastic album. Again, a whole album listen, not just a song listen. The only other album I have by these guys is Infected. Great album. 1986 release. It's amazing album. Completely different sounding than this one. But I love Ensoulment. I love the great album. Great band. So as you can see on the wall behind me, and I've got some over there on the wall as well, which you can't see, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. An amazing Australian band formed in 2010 The only reason I chose this one because it's their latest album, because I absolutely love every album that these guys have put out. I truly do. The reason I love every album is every album is different. It doesn't have a unique sound like the or Deep Purple or whatever. Every album is different. This is more blues rock and boogie rock. But each album that I have, there's psychedelic rock, garage rock, psychedelic pop, progressive rock, heavy metal. Every album is completely different, and I absolutely love that. Just so happens that most of the albums that I have are awesome colored vinyl as well. Not that that's a big deal, but it's cool that they release those. And from what I hear, they put on an amazing live show. I have 14 of their studio albums. They've released 26, so I've got a lot to catch up on. 56 live albums, 4 compilation, 1 remixed album, 3 extended plays, 59 singles, 60 music videos. In 2017, they released 5 studio albums in 1 year. That is impressive. But a great band from Australia. These guys are so good. It's a pretty large band as well. But I like this one. This is a good album. Back to basic, just rock and roll. Mirage City, Antarctica, Raw Feel, Field of Vision, Hog Calling Contest, Le Risque, the title track, Flight B 741, Sad Pilot, Rats in the Sky, and Daily Blues. Great band. I'd love to see these guys live. I love the cover as well. If pigs could fly. Some of them come in these cardboard sleeves also. But every album that you listen to by these guys is different, for sure. Larry showed this one. He also showed King Gizzard as well. But this is Nectar, A Spoonful of Time. This is 2012's A Spoonful of Time. The 12th album by the English progressive band formed in Hamburg, Germany, 1969, way back in 1969. You got Roy Albrighton on lead vocals and guitars, Alan Taft Freeman on keyboards, and Derek Moore on drums. Derek Moore on bass, and drummer Ron Howden on drums. This is a cover album, but I think it's fantastic. You've got so many great artists, first off, that are on this album. You've got Steve Howe, Rick Wakeman, Nick Turner, Ginger Baker, Derek Shrenen, Mel Collins, Simon House, Billy Sheehan, Rod Argent, Mark Kelly, Jeffrey Downs, Edgar Froese, Joachim Slauberg, Ian Pace from Deep Purple, David Cross, Jerry Goodman, Michael Pinella, Joel, wow, that's a big, long last name, Van Rugenbrock, Bobby Kimball from Toto, Billy Sherwood from Yes, Billy Sherwood from, and Pat McMraz. They do fantastic covers. They do Cyrus. They do Spirit of the Radio by Rush, Fly Like an Eagle, Steve Miller, Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd, Riders in the Storm, Blinded by the Light, Out of the Blue, For the Love of Money, Can't Find My Way Home, 2,000 Light Years from Home, Old Man, Dreamweaver, I'm Not in Love, and Africa. It's an amazing cover album. And that album cover is remarkable as well. They do a great job of doing a cover on this one. They add their own feel to it, their own flavor, but they don't mess up the song in any way. But if you don't know Nectar, definitely check these guys out. I've got 9 other albums by Nectar. And finally, again, I could be here all day showing bands that I've discovered from doing this channel, but I pretty much bought this one based on the cover. And now I'm on a mission to get all their studio albums. I'm blown away by this one. This is the Flower Kings and Look at You Now. This is a mystery find, as I said. But when I heard this one, I was just wow. From the Swedish progressive rock band formed in '94 by guitarist and songwriter Roy Stolt. The 16th and latest album by the band, progressive rock, melodic progressive rock, released in 2023. Amazing group of musicians. The music is uplifting and positive, symphonic, melodic, as I said. Great hooks, a modern spin on their sound from way back, a natural flow of the album as well. The songs blend well together. You got beautiful melodies, fantastic instrumentals, an enjoyable album. I love it. I'm on a path to discover all their studio albums. So far, I've got the Rainmaker, 2001's Rainmaker. Still the same formula on this one here. And the Sum of No Evil. Sum of No Evil, 2007 release. Just as good as any other album out there. This is all newly remastered. First time on vinyl. And fantastic stuff. So thank you, Larry, for this awesome idea. Hope you enjoy. I'll put a link below to Larry's channel. And I'll put a link below to Vinyl Ritchie's channel as well. Go over to both channels, like, subscribe, leave wonderful comments, and have yourself a great rest of the day. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.